Well, a very good evening and many thanks indeed for joining us. My name is OMONDI and this is KTV Primetime News. It is a Tuesday, the 29th day of November, the year 2022. Tonight we have a lot in store for you in what is happening in the country and of course beyond our borders. What we've seen today is that the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly continue to have the four commissioners, the four dissenting commissioners on the hot seat as their fate is still unknown. Meanwhile, the ODM party leader who sums up as the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party leader Raila Odinga has also postponed the planned protest that were supposed to be in support for the four dissenting IBC commissioners due to the ongoing examinations till the 7th day of December the year 2022. Just a lot for you, but first let's take a look at the stories making headlines tonight. Alright, and not alone, I'm in the company of Macklin Acheng, who is a sign language interpreter tonight. We're streaming live at broadcast on our social media platforms on Facebook, KTV Kenya, on Twitter, KTV_Kenya. It's also live on YouTube at KTV Kenya Live. Now, as authorities in Garissa County continue to mobilize stakeholders to avert the spread of cholera, already the lives of 4 people have been claimed. As of 27th of November 2022, a total confirmed cases in the county stood at 372.
The first cases of cholera were detected after a wedding festival held in Limuru sub-county in Kiambu County on 8th of October this year. So far, 9 counties have been affected, including Garissa, Kajiado, Kiambu, Machakos, Meru, Murang'a, Nakuru, Nairobi, and Uasin Gishu. Authorities in Garissa have mobilized stakeholders to avert the crisis following the outbreak that has already claimed the lives of 4 people. The total number of confirmed cases in the county now stands at 372 as of the 27th of November, and according to a health situation report, the bulk of cases comes from the Dadaab refugee camps. Hagadera refugee camp has reported 160 cases, while Dagahari has reported 87 cases. Other refugee camps include IFO with 52 cases, Saredo with 10 cases, and Cambios with 1 case.
We have 372 cases that have been reported so far, and unfortunately we had 4 deaths actually that have been recorded, and we are also having some sporadic cases that are being reported.
A worrying trend that indicates the disease is fast spreading to other parts of the county shows that various locations within the Dadaab and Garissa Township have had cases too. For instance, Bula Madina has had 3 cases, with Dadaab 1 case, while neighboring Madogo in neighboring Tana River County having 3 cases.
Leta watu 5, bibi yangu na watoto yangu 3 na dada yangu. Kufika hapa serikali amesema mnunue dawa.
Siku ya Alhamisi mtoto saa 10 usiku, saa 10:30 usiku alianza kuhara na kutapika. Kuanza kutapika nikamleta hospitali Madogo. Kutoka hapo akashinda hiyo siku ya Alhamisi mzima. Hasa ndio kufikia Ijumaa asubuhi saa 2 ndio akaaga dunia.
Locals have been urged to scale up their hygiene and help in disrupting and containing the spread of the contagious disease, which is spreading at an alarming rate. The outbreak is currently active in 7 counties and has been controlled in Nakuru and Uasin Gishu counties. Lincoln Chege, KOTV.
Now, the KCPE and KPSEA national examinations have entered the second day in the country, as with more than 2 million candidates sitting for the exams. President William Ruto, with his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, led the government officials in monitoring the examinations, where President William Ruto supervised the exams at Joseph Kang'ethe Primary School in Kibra, Nairobi County.
How are you? The Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE and Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KIPSA national examinations have entered the second day countrywide, with education stakeholders in collaboration with security officers working hand in hand to ensure the exercise is successful. President William Ruto led government officials in monitoring the exams as he supervised the KCP and KIPS exams at Joseph Kang'ethe Primary School in Kibra, Nairobi County. He has assured teachers and candidates that security measures have been put in place in all of the exam centers.
Bila ya mambo ya vurugu katika sehemu zote za Kenya, kila mwanafunzi apatiwe nafasi ya kufanya mtihani katika mazingira tulivu na mazingira yenye iko na amani. Na ndio sababu tumemobilize askari wengi kuhakikisha kwamba mambo ya mitihani inaendelea vizuri katika centers zetu zote.
President Ruto has assured parents of the grade 6 learners under the new curriculum that the government will give a transition plan soon. His sentiments were echoed by his Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who monitored the ongoing exams at Komarok Primary School in Nairobi County.
To look at issues CBC, to look at TVET, to look at university education. And this Friday, we'll be giving the way forward after the President receives an interim report on how we proceed with the CBC and other reforms.
The Deputy President has applauded teachers for their hard work, saying come next year, the government is going to employ more than 30,000 teachers to fill the deficit gap of teachers countrywide.
Shortly, we will be agreeing on how to transit into the next level. A decision is going to be made in the very short term, so that you can know next year, especially for those who are in grade 6 and grade 7, how they will move and transit to the next level.
On the other hand, the Prime Cabinet Minister Musalia Mudavadi was in Kilimani Primary School, Nairobi County, supervising the exams. The KCP and KIPSA exams will conclude on Wednesday, November 30th. Shadrach Simiyu, KUTV.
Thank you, Shadrach Simi, for that report. And away from that, the hearing of the petition seeking the removal of the 4 electoral commissioners who refused to endorse the declaration of President William Ruto as the winner of the August 9th general election continues in the National Assembly. The proceedings, however, are facing waves, with the commissioners Francis Wanderi declining to file response on the petition, forcing the hearing to be adjourned. The ongoing petition before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly on the removal of the 4 dissenting IBC commissioners seems to be riding on the tides, as the Commissioner Francis Wanderi told the committee that he could not continue with the proceedings because the petitioners had not supplied him with the evidence in the matter before the House. His lawyer Ndoro Gishamba, who was representing him, said that participating in the proceedings without the documents will be prejudicial to his clients. Mr. Wanderi now joins Irene Masit in putting a stumbling block to the proceedings, who through her lawyer Donald Kipkorir stated that the committee had no jurisdictional authority to proceed with the hearing of the petition. The JLAC members, while protesting against the withdrawal led by the South Mugirango MP Silvanus Osoro, accused Wanderi and his colleagues Sorry for the technical hitch. Now, as the Azimio La Umoja coalition leader Raila Odinga braces for the national rallies to defend the 4 besieged Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission commissioners who are facing dismissal by the parliament, cracks are opening as his allies from the Mount Kenya region have already started distancing themselves from the expected max action. President William Ruto's critic Bishop David Ngari, who supported Raila's presidential bid, mobilized more than 300 clergymen from the Mount Kenya region to reject the Raila's call for mass action. The bishop alleged that the Azimio leaders were being selfish for nominating their children to Iala while there were so many Kenyans who supported them. He further said that the planned mass action was meant to benefit them individually and not Kenyans, adding that the church cannot afford to go against the legally constituted government that is also rubber-stamped by God.
Sisi hatuwezi kuchukuana na migomo ama tukaweza take part kwa migomo, kwa sababu biashara zetu ndizo zinaathirika wakati zimefungwa na watoto wetu hawataenda mashuleni.
Now, the High Court has allowed the vetting of the principal secretaries to continue. This is after the court dismissed the 3 petitions presented by the Kenya Lawyers Association, that is the Law Society of Kenya, against the continuation of this process. The decision was given by Judge Ndumanderi, saying that the requests should be submitted after the vetting process.
2 weeks since the termination of the vetting process of principal secretaries by Labour Court Judge Nzoki Wamaka, the High Court through Judge Ndumanderi has allowed the vetting process to continue. According to Judge Nderi, the request submitted by the Lawyers Association of Kenya LSK against the continuation of the vetting process were supposed to be submitted after the process was completed. The National Assembly argued that, according to the law, if the 51 nominees are not vetted within 28 days, then they will automatically be sworn into office. In that case, LSK mentioned that the selection activity was not based on gender equality, ethnicity, and regional equality. However, Judge Nderi has said, and I quote, "The court will be called only after the completion of the process of vetting the principal secretaries. Parliament has a sacred role given to them by the people of Kenya, and the court must respect Parliament's responsibilities because the case presented came before time." End of quote. However, Judge Nderi has said that the court should be involved only after the Parliament finishes the process of assessing them and having written its report. This activity is expected to continue involving various parliamentary committees as previously scheduled. This is after the court issued its ruling. Edward Nyamu, KUTV.
And a report by the Independent Medical Legal Unit issued on the November 29, 2022 to answer whether there was disruption of peace in the 2022 general election indicates that there were indeed cases of human rights violations by the security agencies, in which 224 cases were reported. These findings, according to the report, are from 41 counties monitored by the organization.
The 2022 August 9 general election has been documented as one of the most peaceful elections than the last 3. However, according to the Independent Medical Legal Unit, IMLU, this election did cause acts of torture, inhuman and degrading treatment, all for which IMLU says none was attributable to police action. A report tabled by IMLU through its executive director on Tuesday, November 29, states that while in overall the 2022 August 9 election was well managed, there were still pockets of violence.
There were a few cases of violence. Out of a total of over 12,000 reports that we received from 122 monitors spread across 41 counties, we received about 115 cases of violence, mainly by civilians. And out of those 115, 21 of them were human rights violations. 5 of them, were deaths.
In total, we had 86 seasonal monitors that we have had contracted for a period of 9 months. But again, in the runners-up to the general election, we added additional 36. So in total, we had 122 monitors across 41 counties, monitoring public order management, police conduct, and human rights violations perpetrated by the state and the police.
IMLU, in its routine of human rights monitoring activities from January to November 2022, had documented a total of 224 serious human rights violations by security agencies, among them 75 fatalities and 10 enforced disappearances, and 113 were cases of torture.
The torture, dehumanizing treatment and punishment, extrajudicial executions, and enforced disappearances by the police continued. Actually, in 2022, we have recorded more violations by the police than the last 10 years. We documented 224 cases of police violations of human rights.
Further, IMLU notes that among the reported incidences of violence, majority included general disruption, abusive language, bribery, voter intimidation, police presence and reaction, human rights violations, and voter importation. The Independent Independent Medical Legal Unit is emphasizing on the need to carry out further studies in order to assess the correlation between police conduct after, during, and before election. Ann Odida, KUTV, Nairobi.
And with that report by Ann Odida, it's time we take our first break here on KTV Primetime News. In a moment, shall be coming back with the discussion of the night, the fate of dissension concerning the four dissenting IBC commissioners who are facing the Justice and Legal Affairs Commission in the National Assembly. Stay with us. See you on the other side.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Most of people know you as Muma, but then I'm shocked that you're called Francis Wangai. Where did the name Muma come from?
The person I started the company with, she was called Maureen Namunkai, so Muma. Yeah, this officer arrests me, and then it's like, when you go to the central, ako, huyu hata alikuwa na piga stano akiwa uchi, nilipata akitoa nguo.
Taking medicine.
Are you okay?
Yes, I am. The tablet is for HIV prevention.
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, refers to antiretroviral drugs taken daily by HIV-negative people who are at ongoing risk of HIV infection to reduce their chances of becoming infected. If used consistently, PrEP can reduce the risk of HIV infection by over 90%. However, because it does not protect against unplanned pregnancy, it should always be used with a family planning method. To get PrEP and any other HIV prevention method, visit a healthcare provider. To talk to someone on PrEP, release an ASCOP at 0800 724 848 or use direct line 0726 460 000 or 1190. This message is brought to you by the National Syndemic Disease Control Council.
Weni mwenyeji, kama we si mwenyeji, mind your business. Kona taka ule anaichapa mpaka ilale, basi harakisha.
Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber, kama una form chukua moja kwa cyber. Chukua moja kwa cyber.
Donjo, sherehe na donjo. Donjo, waone vile sherehe na donjo.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Sasa ni bora zaidi. Mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Sokomoko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Yangu. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KTV Primetime News. Time for our discussion. Now, the fate of the four embattled IBC commissioners seems to be dangling on the pendulum, even as the hearing of the petition continues in the National Assembly before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Now, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party has, however, suspended the planned mega rallies countrywide over the commissioner's ouster plot till 7th December. Will this tilt the decision of the House Committee? But again, the members of the committee are politicians who have affiliations. Are they for or against the ouster of the plot of the commissioners? The questions are endless and Kenyans are anxiously wanting and waiting to know. And that forms the basis of our discussion tonight. And joining me is Kotonde, who is a senior political analyst. Thank you so much, Kotonde, for dedicating your time for this discussion.
Thank you very much for the invitation again. And I believe we are going to discuss this matter before us fully, at least get to the Kenyans.
Right.
Deep part of it.
Great. You told me that someone wanted to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, sure. I wanted to pass my regards to my mom and my brothers, plus their families, wherever they are. I know they're watching wherever they are now. Mom, I want you to know that you're loved for the gift of life God has given us. Now that we are celebrating the December holiday, I believe we'll be meeting. And also to my brothers, wherever you are, take care of yourself and be good. Finally, we have our nephews and nieces who are sitting for KCC and KCP. We wish you well. And also my very primary school and second school, that is Major Primary School and St. Paul's Legisa Second School. Success in your coming exams.
All right. Great, thanks for that. Now, let's get the ball rolling. Now, we're having the commissioners who are set, who are on the hot seat, of course, before the parliamentary committee, that is the JLAC. So, you follow the proceedings. What do you foresee as the possibility of the fate of these embattled for IBC commissioners?
Thank you very much for that. The 4 commissioners, that is Vice Chair Cherera, Nyangaya, Msit, and Wandera. I want to say clearly that as per what happened on the 15th of August, during the announcement of the presidential results, constitutionalism was not respected by the 4. And I believe the MPs under the JLAC are politicians, fine. But Kenyans are looking unto them keenly. They must give us what is really worth, irrespective of party affiliations. We want them to give us the report so that going forward, such mistakes are not repeated again. Yes.
So, what you've seen on the matter before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee in the National Assembly, a total of 4 petitions were filed. So, and now that you've said that constitutionality was not followed by these dissenting 4 IBC commissioners. So, on where you sit, do you feel these 4 IBC commissioners concerning what they did, and that is disowning the results that were announced by the chairman, Wafula Chebukati, are they fit to hold the offices that they are holding at the moment?
I want to say clearly that in this our great state, Kenya, what has been guiding us is our constitution. And if you check the very, very constitution, Article 1 of the very constitution, it says that the powers of this great state are vested on the common mwananchi.
Yes.
And the moment an office is given unto you to man it at any given capacity, like the one which was given to the Cherera 4 or the Serena 4, you must take to an account what you do with the office, how you behave with the office, how honest you are in your transactions or in your dealings, and how the level of integrity is bestowed, and seen in you concerning the very office. On the same, Cherera 4, 1, they went against Article 10 of our Constitution. The same Serena 4 did a big blunder by going against Article 73, 1, 2, and 3 of our Constitution, which states on 1, public office bearer, how you behave. 2, the integrity of our very own office. Another one, the behavior on that very, very office. all this checked, and concerning the information which happened on 15th, I am here to say completely and fully that the Cherera 4 completely went against our constitution. Yes, and therefore I believe the commissioners will automatically, without looking at any side of the coin, give us the best of what it takes, what the law states on a situation that someone has already abused an office. Like it happened way back, close to 6-7 years, when Nancy Baraza, the then vice president of the judiciary, she misbehaved at the village market, and the law took the course. Nobody came out to defend her based on where she was coming from at that time, and even how she was affiliated to a certain political class then. That is what we want to see, so that we are accountable to what and the office we are holding.
Right.
Yes.
So, looking at actually what has been said and what we've heard from the Justice and Legal Affairs Parliamentary Committee, don't you think probably that constitutionally these 4 commissioners could be entitled to a freedom that probably they differ in opinions, because at times, as it is normal in life, that you might disagree to agree. So don't you think probably they could also be entitled to differ in opinions with the chairman of Wafula Chebukati, who was the chairman of this electoral commission?
Wonderful.
Or at what point is the right for probably a different opinion, differing in opinions, is limited when it comes to probably, let's just giving an example of what we saw with the 4 dissenting IBC commissioners?
What I want to say, and this should get into each and every Kenyan listening to me. The Cherera 4, first, they must know that in everything they were doing and in everything they are enjoying, starting from the salary and the security, everything that they were going through, the benefits that came with that office, it was the taxpayers' money. By virtue that the taxpayers' money was given to them, doesn't mean that other Kenyans could not and were not in a position to be in such an office. They did a very good job right from the beginning by coming together as the 7 members of the IBC. We started by doing a very credible results for MCS. They announced the results very well at different corners of this country under delegations. They also did good on MPs, upper and lower house. They also did great stuff on the governorship. Why was it that by the time it came for the announcement of the presidential results, interest started developing? Why? We can say, and it is also stipulated in our constitution, that it is wrong for an independent body like IABC to be inclined to one political party or a person. Like, from the look of things, the Serena 4 were inclined to Azimio.
Right.
And they wanted the results to be as per their own gain. Going by that, the Kenyans should know that what the Cherera 4 did is equally wrong and unlawful. It is wrong to associate, and thereby by associating or inclined to a certain political goodwill, at the time people are expecting a credible, verifiable results from you it means you are making people to doubt and even to thwart the constitution we've been having for years.
All right. Now, maybe because let us now delve on these political affiliations. And what you're saying is that the 4 IBC commissioners who are now embattled with the petitions in the parliamentary committee, that there is a possibility that they are affiliated to the other political divide, that is the political side that was supporting the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya candidate, that is the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So what you are seeing at the moment, you know how the houses are constituted, the upper house and the lower house. The majority are on which side? This is dictated by probably what we are seeing, where the leader of majority is, and of course the majority whip, that is the Kenya Kwanza side. So we have looked at the setup of the JLAC, the chairman of this committee and the members of this committee. We have seen the South Mugirango member of parliament, Osoro, who is a member of this committee, and the chairman, Murugara, who is of course, we saw him during the presidential election petition representing the now president, Honorable William Ruto. Don't you think probably now the constitution, now how this the JLAC is constituted, could probably have an effect on the outcome, or rather the judgment that will be ruled on the case, on this petition of these 4 dissenting IBC commissioners?
Everybody knows that Kenya Kwanza have the majority of both houses, representatives in both houses. But, and also everybody knows that the chair of JLAC once upon a time represented the current president. We know very well that this team constitutes politicians who are affiliated to different parties. But what will stand and what must stand and what has been standing even in the case of Baraza is upholding our constitution. That is the center of interest. As much as the chair of JLAC seems to be affiliated to Kenya Kwanza president, we want to give him time and a benefit of doubt that he will give us the best out of this committee. That is what we really want to see. 2, the moment it will go differently, as in the 4 are ousted.
Yes.
Because maybe the commissioners are not having, the Kenya Kwanza commissioners overrides what it takes. Then time will come when we'll be haunted by this. You can remember the chicken gate.
Right.
It really haunted the members who did the malicious, we call it judgments. So I want to say, the chairman himself, in that very capacity, it is believed that he is in a position to act as even a judge at the Supreme Court. And therefore, he is of knowledge, worth making a decision which can override what the majority thinks. So that is what I want to get back to everybody's mind. Let's give the chairman his time. As much as it is presumed that he is affiliated to Kenya Kwanza, let's take that he will uphold what the Constitution says, irrespective of his side.
All right. Now, still on that case, we have seen the Busia Member of Parliament, Ukia Mutata, who was rushed to court, of course, filing a case concerning the interrogations that are going on in the National Assembly, that is in the JLAC committee, concerning the 4 dissenting IBC commissioners. In his case, he says that he laments that these interrogations are politically fueled. that these people, these people, the 4 IBC commissioners, were not supporting the government of the day. They were affiliated to the Azimio. That there's a lot of politics in this, and therefore he's requesting the court to stop JLAC from interrogating these 4 IBC commissioners. Now, the petition that was filed that by Kia Mutata, do you think it holds any water?
I want to first of all congratulate Kia Mutata for his nomination, but I also want to say that he has left a big gap which might not be fully filled any soon. 2, as I said initially, that the composition of the JLAC is fully political. The politicians representing Kenya Kwanza and also representing the Azimio, I know and I believe, to my innermost mind, a good number of them may not be serving the real truth, but serving their semi-gods. I believe that what Okia Mutata was saying is equally right, because it might go to the side of the inclined government of the day, Kenya Kwanza. Therefore, giving no room to this said Cherera 4 to at least defend themselves. Yeah. So for me, what he's thinking is right, because as you know, that the chair of IBC is soon retiring.
Right.
Gulio is also retiring, and Mulo by 17th of January next year. It is written in the Constitution that the moment the chair is not in place, the vice chair sits on the throne, yes, until the time a fully fledged chairman is restored into that office. Why the rush? That's a question which most Kenyans are interested in knowing. As much as they did a mistake, they differed with the chair, which is right. Why the rush? And the other side of the coin is, if they knew that what the chair was doing right from the beginning was not right, tallying majorly at the National Tallying Center, Bomas, why did they have to decide to walk away instead of engaging the chair and other 2 commissioners? Yet, the very, very commissioners, as the results were trickling in, they were being given an opportunity by the very chair. Yes. 1, to tally, to do the verification. 3, even to announce the results publicly.
Right.
Why did they decide to walk away? By walking away, they are infringing the Constitution. Honesty is missing in them. Integrity is missing in them. Upholding the office with lot of dignity and honor is missing in them.
But again, looking at the press conference that, looking at the press that was given by the vice chair, that is Juliana Cherera, saying that they don't put blame in the whole process, because now that you're saying really that the chair gave them the opportunity to tally the results, of course, and even to announce the results, which they did throughout this process. Juliana Cherera was saying that why they were disowning the results is that at the tail, that is the very end of this process, there were malpractices, there were things that they could not stand with. And that's what we saw even with the Honorable Raila Odinga saying that at the tail of this process, that is where there are differences which they could not stand with. So what do you make of this, or the whole thing? Because yes, right, at the very, very beginning, they were in one accord. But now at the tail of it, they're saying that things happened that they could not stand with. That's why they disown these results.
Like I said, it is always right to have a divergent mind, even the twins born, raised in the same environment will automatically have a divergent opinion based on something. It was not wrong for the chair and the other commissioners to differ. But just to take you back shortly, then I'll join on that. You can remember our chair, Wafula Chebukati, said that he was visited by the then Jubilee Secretary General, Raphael Tuju, at 3. It's true, and it's in the public domain, that one, the Cherera 4 also joined, but one, they wanted the results, presidential results, to be moderated. 2, they wanted the results to be announced in favor of Azimio. 3, they wanted that in case it goes the Kenya Kwanza way, then possibilities of plunging the country into flames could have been high. But now, the moment the Cherera 4 realized that it was not worth standing by what the chair said, then by announcing Bwana Rais Ruto, was it that the only way to express your anger was to go through the press? And if that was the case, then were there other avenues? And did they do this thing in terms of writing to substantiate what they were talking about? Because you remember, even the day after the results were announced, Raila and the team decided to go to the courts. They carried what they thought were
the
evidence.
All right. Well, that is really interesting. And of course, now that you've touched on Raila Odinga is planning for the mass demonstration that is across the country. In 1 minute, and just in 1 minute, Kotonde, because my director is telling me that we're running out of time. Do you think it's worth it, the demonstration, the peaceful protest that the Honorable Raila Odinga is calling for concerning these 4 IBC commissioners?
One, I'll be very fast as a coconut hen. One, it is wrong to call for a mass action or activities on behalf of the 4. One, because the 4, their families, brothers and sisters, relatives and families, have not called for such. We have not been consulted as Kenyans by the said 4 families, Cherera, Wanderi, Basit and Wangaya. We have not been consulted. 2, what are the priorities which the Azimio as chief opposition could be doing? 1, Kunanja. We have a lot of drought and famine running the country. The learners of this great state, quite sad. You can call a mass action when we have 3 great important exams in the entire lives of our Kenyans, young Kenyans.
But they postponed that, so that's not really.
But they have said that it will be commencing on
the 7th of December,
which we'll find when the KCSE is at its peak. Do you think these learners will be having time to even attend classes?
Interesting.
It will not be possible. Therefore, I'm saying, and I'm saying this for free, it is no time to call for
mass action. All right.
And it is also not right to call these hungry Kenyans to come out, yet they will be fighting directly with the government of the day.
All right, interesting, Kotonde. Of course, sorry, I'm cutting you short on that, but we'll continue this discussion, of course, later on. So, moving on, the county government of Murang'a is geared to improve service delivery in the health sector after the local assembly passed the Health Policy 2022-2027. The policy gives the county administration, among other things, a leeway to roll out the program dubbed Kangata Care, which targets to put 20,000 vulnerable households under the enhanced NHIF cover on Tuesday. Governor Kangata said that the recruitment of those to benefit in the enhanced NHIF cover is almost true, and before the Christmas, the families will start enjoying the improved health care.
We want to adhere to the policy which says that all beneficiaries of Kangata Care should be recruited at the grassroots level, and therefore, instead of the 24 names which were being recruited per polling center, we shall now recruit 36. And on Thursday, I've directed every committee to sit down and add us the 12 names.
And in northeastern Kenya, the government and the 8 groups have launched project teaching computer coding to herders so that they can find more sustainable jobs. But not everyone supports education that could end their traditional way of life, as Victoria Munga now reports from Isiolo.
Herding communities such as this in northern Kenya's Isiolo County don't have access to education, but the government and some aid agencies are stepping in to make a difference by introducing digital literacy programs in schools located in remote regions. The goal, they say, is to equip this generation of pastoralists with skills for modern jobs, like teaching them coding.
There is no way for them to be exposed. It's difficult for them to have trips to take them to areas where they can see technology. There is no mobile network here, so it's just not possible. They don't have television, they don't have smartphones in their homes, and so technology is just a strange thing to them. So bringing it in the classroom really makes that child feel empowered.
14-year-old Christine Kinyaga is one of the children benefiting from the program. She says her exposure to the training helped her realize that there are other opportunities beyond pastoralism.
Education is good. It will help me in my life. I had not been sent to school. I was just always herding my father's goats. One day, my elder brother questioned why I was herding instead of going to school. My father did not want me to come to school.
Easing dependence on pastoralism in favor of education here is a long shot, but some elders in the community, like John Paradusea, believe it is necessary in the wake of a growing population and climatic conditions that are putting pressure on natural resources.
In this area, there are almost no cows because there is nothing to graze. As soon as the green grass comes up, it is all eaten, and when the grass is gone, our wealth goes too because the number of people is increasing, and grazing land is now getting smaller.
Keeping the students in school is hard for these communities, and the state authorities say they're finding ways to encourage them to attend classes, including initiatives to feed them.
We also offer incentives in terms of providing food. That is a school meals program, whereby they have 1 meal per day. And this one helps to bring these kids to school. Actually, some of them come simply because they know they are going to have that 1 meal per day.
Herders in at least 23 schools in northern Kenya have access to the digital education programs. Authorities say they hope to extend the initiative to more schools in marginalized regions in the future. Victoria Amunga for VOA News, Isiolo, Kenya.
Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Now, the Sports and Youth Affairs Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba has expressed shock on the recent disclosure by the Kenya Rugby Sevens players who appealed to Kenyans to help them raise funds to settle their bills. Furthermore, the CS faulted the governance of the Kenya Rugby Union for failing to attend the players' needs. Namwamba spoke after meeting with the union's executive to discuss the stalemate at the time when Kenya Sevens are preparing for their Dubai and Cape Town Sevens set to be played earlier next month. The CS also promised to distribute and disperse allowances directly into the players' accounts, noting that he has trust issues with the Kenya Rugby Union. And the championship side, Wigan Athletic, have confirmed the appointment of Kolo Toure as their new manager. The former Arsenal and Liverpool centre-back joins the club on a 3.5-year contract, becoming the first African to be appointed as a manager for the English senior team. The Ivorian arrives from Leicester City, where he has been operating as the first team coach, and will join the first team on a mid-season training camp in Turkey alongside Kevin Betsy and Ashvir Johal, who have been appointed as the part of the backroom coaching staff. And finally, Italian giants Juventus are set to undergo a fresh start following the resignation of the entire board of directors amid allegations of false accounting and irregularities in the transfer of players. Among the top officials leaving the club, including the president, Andre Angeli, and his subordinate, Pavel Nedved, both who have served the team for the last 12 years. However, the managing director, Maurizio Abrivabe, will remain with the old lady on an interim basis, pending the appointment of a new board. Juventus will hold a shareholder meeting on the 27th December to examine the new consolidated financial statements. Alright, and at that point, we called it a wrap tonight on QTV Primetime News. Many thanks indeed for your valid company throughout the bulletin. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Makrina Ching. My name is OMONDI, and I leave with this, that a man who eats alone cannot discuss the taste of food with others. Think about that. You have a great night. Until next week.